Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to 2020. The year that we thought was going to be amazing so that we can party like it was the 20s, however has turned into quarantine. Yes, it is still May 2020, yes we are still in quarantine, and yet I am also still catching up with videos of old months in my bullet journal. This week's edition, January 2020, aka setting up a new year in your bullet journal. Okay, I'm done with this now. This video is going to be a little bit different because I don't actually have any footage of me writing everything out for some reason. I guess by January I realized that I wasn't pumping out videos as fast as I usually do, so I stopped filming things. Alas, I still want to show you the beauty that is my bullet journal, so I'm doing this video anyways. So since I'm starting 2020 basically in the middle of my bullet journal, I wanted to really separate 2019 from what was going to become 2020. So I did this double page spread, just 2020, the year, and because it's the 20s, obviously I went for a 1920s theme because everybody thought that 2020 was gonna be fun, like the 20s. But yes, I did the border in a Gatsby-esque type of pattern, and inside of the gold, which is actually just craft paper, believe it or not, I just drew in some white patterns differently for each number. Then flipping the page, something that I do at the beginning of any journal or at the beginning of any year is I write out the calendar for the whole year. Because this journal is a little bit smaller, I decided to keep it 2 months per page, which left me with 6 pages of important dates. Basically all it is a calendar for each month at the top of the page, and then all of the days written out underneath so that I can write in important dates like birthdays and vacations and stuff. Keeping up with the theme that I had on the previous page, I tried to incorporate the craft paper, which was really fun, and some gold as well, which is where I wrote in the title of the month. Then something like I did in December 2019, where I kind of created a list of everything that I wanted to complete before 2020, I went in and I made a list of stuff that I wanted to complete in 2020. Just sort of goals that I had, a general goal, not really New Year's resolutions, but things that I did want to complete in 2020 and sort of get better at. I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions. You can tell that from my old bullet journal, this page right here. Yeah, it didn't work. It just always turns into something that I know I won't be able to complete, so I feel bad for not doing it. But having like a big project to-do list for 2020 feels a lot better. So it has things that I've actually already completed as well, like creating my whole Merida cosplay or collecting my whole Rapunzel cosplay. However, because this was also at the beginning of 2020, there are some more unrealistic goals for our current times, like do a travel video for every place I go, and generally travel. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Then I have my 2020 reading list. I have always created a sort of bookshelf page in my bullet journal in the past, and I've always written in titles of books that I've read and colored them in as I've completed them, which I'm always really proud to look back on. One of my goals was to read 20 books in 2020. So far, I've only read a couple, but that's because I'm stuck on the really big Gone with the Wind, which I adore. But it's also 1,024 pages. Below that, I have my package tracker for the year. I usually do this in my bullet journals and it usually fills up really quick, but I only ordered really one big thing at the beginning of the year, and then I kind of forgot this list existed. And more recently, because of quarantine, I've been ordering a lot of stuff online, and instead of keeping it in my bullet journal, my package tracker, I moved it into my budget book, which is a lot more helpful because it also controls where I spend my money. And that is the basics for setting up a new year in my bullet journal. Moving on, we have January. And I tried to stick with the Gatsby-esque theme, although it kind of turned into a vintage yellowish theme, which I also like, but by the end of the month my yellow marker was running out. I really only got to bullet journaling halfway through the month, even like towards the end of the month, so I only have half of a gratitude log and half of a sleep log that I just condensed onto one page. On my intro page though, I have January written in black and gold on craft paper and the calendar of the month below that. So sort of for the rest of the month, my theme was black, gold, yellow, and brown, just to keep it consistent. The next page was my homework calendar for the rest of the month, which is also when I actually started my new semester, so I wrote in my schedule for the semester. Then I finally did my weeklies for the rest of 2020. I really only had 2 weeks left. But I really like the idea of having the hourly chart, so I added one to each day just so I could also keep track of which classes I had to go to and when I had to go to work and all that stuff. I kept the theme really simple and I kept it the same for both pages as well, just because I was at the end of the month anyway, which kind of annoyed me, so I didn't really put a lot of effort into making it look super pretty. But I actually ended up liking this system a lot more than I thought I would, just because it works best for me and keeps everything in a way that I get to see. So I see things I have to do, let's blocked out, like classes and work, and on the side I have like tasks that I want to do during the day, and it always keeps like the day, so like Saturday, January 25th, 2020, for example. On the last page, I actually only have 5 days instead of 6 to fill in, so to fill up that extra space, I glued in some craft paper, and I did a little brain dump over here, and over here were just some events that were happening in my school that I had to share with my club. So that is actually all for January of 2020. But because I'm here and my next video is not going to be February, I thought I would share with you what happened with February. So after I finished this month, I was back into bullet journaling and I really wanted to do something cool and fun, and my best friend Kitty had just invited me to go to Disney with her in September. I have no idea if that's still gonna happen. I hope it does. But I was really excited, so I decided to make a whole month Disney themed. I had the first couple pages set up, like this awesome Disney castle and beautiful metallic and blue sort of Cinderella themed gratitude log set up. But it didn't get very far. I obviously stopped using it towards the end of the month because I just didn't have my weeklies set up. I also had a Sleeping Beauty sleep log, and I was switching between pink and blue, which was fun, and I had a Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs mood tracker because there's 7 moods. It was cute, I really liked it, and they had all the different gems. Then I made a beautiful Princess and the Frog calendar for the month. I really like how it turned out, but again, I just didn't use it for some reason. And this is where things start to die down. Because each page had such specific drawings and really creative drawings that I wanted to make for each of these Disney characters, I found it really hard to keep up with. So I wanted to do my homework calendar for the whole month and have each week have its own theme underneath and like a little scene from a movie. Obviously, I didn't end up using it pretty much at all. First week was supposed to be Cinderella, then it was supposed to be Mulan, Aladdin, and Anastasia. And then I sketched out sort of what I wanted to have happen for all of my weeklies, but they all ended up being blank. Unfortunately, I never used them. This was supposed to be an Alice in Wonderland brain dump. Then my first week was supposed to be Peter Pan, and then it was supposed to be Brave for these 2 pages. And then Tangled, Frozen, The Little Mermaid, and Zootopia. Clearly, all of this didn't happen. I think I just bit off more than I can chew, and drawing all those characters in was going to be a lot more work than I thought it would, and especially with school starting up again, I was not ready for that. This is something that I would eventually like to fill out, but I have no idea if or when I ever will, so I just wanted to share that really quick with you as well. But yes, that is the beginning of 2020. I hope you enjoyed.